out tonight. Lily Zhao, Brandon Cruz, Tim Van Vorn. We're happy you're part of it as well. FOX6 Sports Blitz, late July. Here we go. Starting lineup. Brewers whipping out the broomsticks, sweeping in Cincinnati. We figure out what we learned from the Young Bucks in the NBA Summer League. We take a stroll down the aisle as a trucker makes us say what. And we all put our pitcher's hats on, analyzing. Oh, come on. A first pitch for the age. We hop on a horse for this week's high school hot shot as well. All right.
We did our job, and I think you come into it in a road series and you sweep it. You've had a heck of a series. So, we got 3 games left with them soon, but it's a big series for us to take a great start to the second half.
I don't think you can argue with much that Craig Counsell had to say there. Brandon Cruz, the Brewers banging out of the box. Shutout, and then a rally win all on the road.
And this is what they went into the break saying they needed to do. Now, they didn't say everything mattered about this series, but they said it was important in the sense they were chasing the team ahead of them. Now they're in front of this team with those 3 games, and they did it the way they've wanted to. Their starting pitching was dominant throughout the weekend. I mean, like you said, 2 shutouts and a very good performance by Adrian Hauser today, and the bullpen holds as Devin Williams gets yet another save. And Christian Yelich has just been unbelievable lately. He still is pounding the ball. A couple of home runs in the series, a big hit again today. I mean, without Christian Yelich, you have to wonder, is this team where they are? I think he has been the catalyst, but to see this weekend in particular, the starting pitching really hold up and get a 1-0 win. I mean, it says a lot about where the team is. And again, they don't have everybody healthy, yet they're in a good spot.
Last time we were really talking about the Cincinnati Reds, Lily, we said, oh my gosh, they're so good. Well, the Brewer pitchers made them look like nothing much.
They certainly did. I mean, this was a Reds team that just was scoring at will, and the Brewers pitching staff said, hey, we have a big assignment here. I think it really started before the All-Star break. Wade Miley coming in and having the start that he did in that game where the Brewers ended the first half of the season 1-0 and that win. It kind of trickled in after the All-Star break, but I think it's just been the starting pitching has been so solid. And then you have the bullpen. You have Elvis Peguero, you have Yoel Payamps, you have Devin Williams, and of course today Hopi Milner with 2 big innings as well. These guys in the bullpen in relief have come up so big against really big hitters that, Ellie De La Cruz, Joey Votto, those guys that know how to get the ball in play and score runs. So what they have been able to do to get these outs has been spectacular. They've needed every single one of them because these games have been tight. But like Craig Counsell said, hey, the pitching has been good. We need some more runs. But the wins, they'll certainly take them.
It's funny you talk about the bullpen because that's a big part of a manager's job, and we're looking at the power of the pen here. Brandon, the Reds, David Bell gets thrown out early. Freddie Bettavini steps up. He's the acting manager. He made a couple of decisions with the game in the balance that tilted the way of the Brewers as it all was said and done, and that's what can happen in these close games.
Right, and it was a big hit by Jesse Winker, the former Red who's kind of struggled as a Brewer, but he comes through big today, getting a key hit late in that game, and then they go ahead a little later. To me, the one thing we see about Craig Counsell and his managing of the bullpen, he seems to pull the right guy out every single time. And maybe the most underrated player from the bullpen this season, Hopi Milner. He has been unbelievable in the way he's been doing things because he comes in, he doesn't allow runs. He doesn't allow the inherited runners to score if he's in that situation either. So when you have a guy that can just stop everything at that moment and then hand it off to a Devin Williams or a Yoel Payamps, they are in a great spot. So to me, it has been the fact that Craig Counsell knows exactly who to bring in when, and it's paying off.
Look at that 4-game winning streak there as we look at the standings. The Brewers are on top, Lily. Not everything is great, though, because statistically the Brewers are still limping along. Their offense is not impressive, let's face it, most nights. Now Rowdy Tellez is going to be out even longer than was anticipated because he gets hurt again, shagging fly balls while he's on the injured list.
Yeah, that's disappointing to see because I think he was expected or anticipated to come back off the injured list. But again, he's going to be out a couple of weeks because of that injured finger. And then we're going to see more of Owen Miller at first base. But, Rowdy's had a season to kind of forget. And he'll say it himself. I mean, batting in the low 200s, just never really got it going and was kind of put in some big pressure situations to drive some runs home. and just couldn't really do it this season. So maybe, hey, when he comes back, there's a renewed sense of I got to get some work done at the plate. But it's going to kind of sting to have him not in there just because of his veteran leadership. But a lot more Owen Miller. He's had some big hits and driving in some big runs as well. So a lot more of that youngster at first base. But they certainly need more runs because a big test looms ahead with Atlanta. I mean, those guys really can score. So if the Brewers want to keep up with a team like the Braves, they're going to have to find some sort of offense because you can't rely on your pitching for every single game. You have to score some runs.
Yeah, Atlanta's been good for against everybody right now. They're really cruising right now. So do you see the Brewers building upon this little stretch they're on now with the Reds, or is it going to level out?
I think they're going to build upon it, but I think the real test, though, despite the Phillies, they have to play that series before you get to the Braves, is how will they respond against a team that really can put up runs? They have multiple guys who are batting above 250. So how can they really stifle those hitters, and can the Brewers themselves generate some runs? Because at the end of the day, if they want to be competing in the postseason, they're going to have to score. They're going to have to get that offense going. So do the Brewers make some sort of big move and bring in a big hitter or two? Possibly. I think they have to do so, but they're going to have to get something going there.
And I know that in baseball, the managers will tell you all the time, momentum is as good as the next day's starting pitcher. It's an old cliche, but it kind of makes some sense. But I think it's catchy. I think when you're playing like this, it does build upon itself.
And when you win 1-0 games, those are emotional wins because it's a tight wire act that whole time. So when you see that happen and everybody puts their stamp on that and makes that win stand out, it kind of does get contagious in there. And so I think you go into Philadelphia, you get another off day. Now, you just had a nice break where had everybody rested, including the All-Stars. They didn't participate in the game, so everybody was rested. Now they come back fresh. They win 3 straight. They get another day off tomorrow. So I think that plays another role into this, that, hey, it keeps them mentally sharp and ready to go right after it against Philadelphia and then Atlanta on Friday. So to me, this is a key day off tomorrow. Even though it doesn't seem like a big deal, I think it really is to get them going against those teams in the East.
Interesting. We shall see. Phillies up next. Again, the series starts on Tuesday. Halftime for us means it's time for the Fox 6 Blitz Insta Poll. You can go to the question right now by scanning the QR code on the screen, or you can go to fox6now.com. Your preference, whatever you're up for at 10:42 at night. Should the Bucks have been more active in free agency or the trade market in the offseason? Pretty simple tonight. Yes or no?
It's been cool just to see their progression. Obviously, Summer League is for the highs and the lows. It's for making mistakes. It's for learning. It's for getting better. The wins and losses doesn't really matter in Summer League. It's about the progression. And I like what I see from our guys.
Bobby Portis hosting his basketball camp here over the weekend. A lot of things going on for him, including upcoming Team USA action. I know you like Bobby's game. What did you like about, or not like, about the Summer League team's games?
I'm glad that we got to see all the games, and now that we can kind of move into the summer, training camps coming up in a couple months, et cetera, et cetera. But I will say I liked what I saw from the young guys. Again, it's not about the wins like Bobby pointed out. It's about how they progress and what we see from them on the court. Again, fun to see, Andre Jackson, Chris Livingston, these rookies get some time to shine on the court and what they were able to do just to say, hey, we can kind of get some things going that aren't on the stat sheet or hustle, bringing some youth, some energy in there. See Adrian Griffin coaching as well. His son Allen was playing. Just kind of saying, hey, what does this kind of new offense under Adrian Griffin look like? I think we kind of saw glimpses of it in the first couple of games, but the Bucks lost 3 straight to end Summer League play. So still struggling to find their offensive identity, but I think a couple guys shined late in the games there. I'm not sure if Lily wants that to be a rhetorical question or not about the Bucks offense. Yeah.
I will say this, you know what I mean? The one thing that you mentioned, Lily, was watching the 2 draft picks, and they really did play well for stretches, and they really did show, especially Andre Jackson Jr. really showed his athleticism, and he seemed to always be in the right spot. Now, in games like this, spacing is going to always be an issue. They only had 5 practices together before they took the court and played games. They haven't had much time together to figure things out, so you're going to see things like that pop up in these Summer League games. But what I really liked was the athleticism of Andre Jackson Jr., and I also really like Chris Livingston's play. The one thing that I found as a question, though, with this was Marjon Beauchamp, because he really struggled in the first half of the first game, but took over in the second half of that game. Kind of did the same same thing in game 2 and then disappeared pretty much after that. So to me, Marjon Beauchamp, a guy that really wants to make an impact on the court during the regular season this year, had his moments, but also looked to still struggle at times. So I'm very curious to see how he might fit in to Adrian Griffin's roles for him.
Consistency is a hard thing to find, but that's what coaches always want.
Right.
What is the consistency? So I know what I'm expecting from him. You don't want the yo-yo performances for sure. Consistency is something that Omax Prosper provided at Marquette as his career went along. Obviously, he went early to the NBA. He goes in the first round, and so far, he's had a promising summer.
He certainly has. I mean, he's shown his size, his defensive prowess, and there's a little slam dunk there from Omax, and he's kind of showing it all for this Dallas team that I think, believes that he will have early potential with him. And often, I mean, they need a perimeter defender. They get that in Omax, and I think he's really showcased his skills. He's gotten better offensively. I know that was kind of the thing where they were saying, hey, can he get the scoring going? I know the jumper is a little bit of something that he's got to work on, but I think what his body of work for summer league play, I think, has been very promising, and he's going to be a young, bright player that the Mavs can certainly use early on in their season.
A lot of Milwaukee area ties on summer league rosters. Kind of impressive. It used to be the rarity from this area. Now we're getting a lot of guys.
Well, I mean, you look at Jamal Cain, what he did just against the Bucks alone for the Heat, scoring 24 in the Heat's win over the Bucks recently. And then you also see Brandon Podziemski have some up and down moments with the Warriors. I mean, you have guys getting a lot of time and a lot of exposure. Now we'll see how that translates to training camp in September, and can they stick to a roster? Can they have an impact on those teams if they make the roster? And, it is good to see so many Milwaukee ties because every game had some interest because, wait a minute, I know who that is. We've watched him grow. So, yeah.
No doubt about it. Speaking of Milwaukee Hoopers, how about Arike Ogunbowale? Impressive showing at the WNBA All-Star Weekend in Vegas. The Dallas Wings forward, runner-up in the three-point contest. In the All-Star game, she scores 18 points. She and her team lost to Team Stewart 143 to 127. So lots of points in the WNBA All-Star game, just like in the NBA All-Star game. And Rike's got a new shoe out. Did you see that with the Milwaukee skyline on the back?
Yeah, very cool
for sure. So nice stuff for her. The WNBA news does not stop there. Week 1, Marquette Gregg joining one team behind the scenes, Dwayne Wade, posting this video on Twitter announcing he's now part of the Chicago Sky ownership group. So D. Wade, we don't know exactly how much he's putting into this, and maybe it doesn't even need that much capital. Putting your face on something if you're D. Wade in Chicago has a lot of value as well. He is also a minority owner of the Utah Jazz and Real Salt Lake out there of MLS, so he's certainly branching out in his post-Marquette and NBA playing days. We're branching out to more of the Blitz in a moment.
I was telling everybody, go home. You feel me? I was like, go home, man. Why y'all still here?
That's a good question.
It was a little Twilight Zone almost.
So I caught the beginning of the question. I did not catch the end of the question.
I don't know what Bud really want me to say.
I really think that guy's TikTok famous. Gotta be. Can't wear that shirt unless you're not. The dancing trucker. That's him. This is the first I've ever heard of the dancing trucker, but if it's on his shirt, then it must be true.
It must be true.
Sure.
Look at that, the dancing trucker. I mean, what did you think? I mean, what would you rate that?
10 out of 10. He's great. He's great on TikTok for all those TikTok fans.
And he's self-proclaimed.
Self-proclaimed.
TikTok famous.
And the cameras were following him throughout the game as the Brewers ended up winning. Maybe the Brewers can bring him to Philadelphia. It'll help out. Well, talk about, we're cameras everywhere. There was a camera out at a Chinooks game recently. Let's take a look at the first pitch of this one.
Right.
Look at Tim Van Voren. Toes the rubber, and he throws it. Hey.
That was beautiful, Tim.
A lot of spin rate there. I think it would be measured quite high.
No mascots were in trouble.
Thank you. Yep, absolutely.
Look at that form.
Yeah.
And you did it from the top of the mound. You didn't take the safe way out of that.
No. Nice of the Chinooks to have me out there. Nice of them to move on quickly and get to the game.
Tim's like, get me off.
Yeah, you need us to move on quickly, too.
There we go.
Well, obviously, we've been asking you guys a question about what the Bucks have done in this offseason. So let's check in on our instant poll question. You can go to it right now by scanning this code or going to our website, fox6now.com. Should the Bucks have been more active in free agency or the trade market? Right now, the majority of you are saying yes. They think they can run this thing back, as they've said, with the guys that they've maintained. Obviously bringing Brook Lopez back and Chris Middleton, Jay Crowder. You name it, this team is pretty much the same as we saw last year. A couple of additions through the draft and then free agency. So we'll see where those final spots are filled when training camp gets going around in September. Also today, Steve Stricker's 2023 just keeps on getting better. The 56-year-old won his 5th event of the year today at the College Companies Championship. This also marks his 3rd major win out of 4 on the PGA Tour Champion so far in 2023. It's the 7th major of his career on the PGA Tour Champions. Now, the one he didn't win, he finished 2nd. The guy's been unbelievable. He's at 11 under. He wins by 3 strokes at Firestone Country Club, and Steve Stricker just keeps getting better, and everybody on that tour chasing him right now. Kewaskum's Jordan Stoltz is in some elite company. The speed skater has been named a semifinalist for the James E. Sullivan Award, which is given to the most outstanding athlete at the collegiate or Olympic level in the United States. Back in March, Stoltz became the first male speed skater to win 3 individual gold medals at a single world championship, and he too just keeps getting better. When we come back, we'll have our high school hotshot. Stay with us.
It's been called the sport of kings, and this young lady has certainly found her niche in the arena and has helped her team ride straight to nationals. Here is this week's Fox 6 High School Hotshot.
I'm Sophia Ward. I graduated from Nicolay High School and I play on the Hillside Farm Polo team. I started riding horses because my parents wanted me to do a sport, and I did probably every sport under the sun for a while. I tried out wrestling, I did gymnastics, I did swimming, started playing tennis, and I played softball. Saw Groupon for Hillside, and my parents decided, like, let's go try it out. Honestly, what interested me about polo was working with my team, and I think it's really fun to be this close with so many people and so many horses. We've all known each other since we were really, really young. We all used to do pony club together. We used to do jumping lessons together. And sometimes we would like go ride in the field back there together. It's like playing hockey during an earthquake. Yeah, our strategy is kind of just take the person out. A lot of people say that girls polo you watch to see the strategy, and boys you watch if you don't know what's going on. The boys run hard with the ball. They'll gallop up and down and score these really cool goals, but the girls will like take it around behind someone and get like a interesting like way looping around all the other people to get it to the goal. Polo is played in time periods called chuggers, and a standard game is 4 chuggers only. I've gone all over the world. I traveled to Argentina this year, did a pro tournament down there, and I played with a polo club called Puesto Viejo. I was thinking, when I was like a little 9-year-old, all I wanted to do was go over big jumps, and now I'm like just running up and down the field and hitting a ball. Like I would have never thought I would have ended up here. I'm Sophia Ward. I'm a Nicolay graduate, and my team took 3rd at Nationals. And I'm this week's Fox 6 High School Hotshot.
And get this, Sophia became interested in EMT training after tending to the horses at Hillside Farm. Now, as for her riding future, she definitely plans to stay connected with her equine friends. Meanwhile, several Wisconsin players were selected in the MLB draft, and Waterford's Dylan Questad had the honor of hearing his name called first. The pitcher was taken by the Minnesota Twins in the 5th round. Questad, who was committed to the University of Arkansas, will now forgo his college career because he intends to sign a contract with the Twins organization. Coming up next, a look at the week ahead. Keep it here.
We always appreciate your participation on our Insta poll questions on the Fox 6 Sports Blitz tonight. Simple yes or no. Should the Bucks have been more active in free agency and the trade market? And a clear 3/4 of you say yes. So there you go.
Adrian Griffin, we'll see what he can do with John Horst's team. Well, the Brewers have a big week ahead. They're off tomorrow, and then they have 3 with the Phillies. Then they come back home to face the best team in baseball, the Atlanta Braves, including a game you can see right here on Fox 6 Saturday night from American Family Field. I think this is a big week. I don't think it means everything. It's a big week, and also possibly look for some trades. The trade deadline is August 1st.
That'll be an interesting week for sure. Meanwhile, some of the world's best collide on the pitch starting Friday. Former Badger Rose Lavelle and the U.S. women open up World Cup play. This will be very fun to watch against Vietnam. That is again Friday right here on Fox 6. man, World Cup winning, they're fantastic, guys.
Yeah, it really kind of must-see TV there, and it's become that, and there's a lot of build-up even with Fox going up to things now. I think that enhances the storylines.
It certainly does, and when you look at what this women's team has done traditionally, they have just been top-notch, and Megan Rapinoe, all those women, it's going to be fun to watch them play again.
And it's a changing of the guard, too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Rapinoe's last. I mean, a lot of younger players now, so it should be a lot more fun.
Can they win another one? We shall see. You shall see it right here on Fox 6. We appreciate you joining us tonight. We'll see you again next Sunday night.